Okay, and it tells me that I am live, and I never get over the wonder of that. Yay, you don't have to be a medium to watch the show. Isn't that nice? We're live. Okay. If I'd stayed at the other place, maybe not so much. I kept having visions that I would die at the other place if I stayed. So, isn't it nice that you don't have to be a medium to see the show? Um, I am the Ocean Swagger. Be prepared. That's just my personality, folks. Uh, this is my show, The Ocean's Deep Blue. And just like it says, we do the deep woo, deepest woo. So if you're ready for the deepest of woo, it's not for everybody. This channel is not for everybody. And it's not supposed to be for a while. Most people are not quite ready for a lot of this. If you're curious, that's fine, but don't harass other people. Here we do advanced stuff, and we already accept that magic is real. We accept that the eyewitness testimony of millions of people around the world isn't all hoax when they say they've experienced things all the way around the world. And we have a tendency to um, believe in what is possible rather than trying to find what is impossible. Oh, that's impossible. I don't know. There's a whole lot of weird things that have happened in my life that have shown me that you can be wrong about that. I mean, if you'd asked me that something like the current administration would ever be able to happen in America, I would really wonder how that would ever be. I'm sorry, my political opinion is you you know, it's just the whole political system, the whole atmosphere we're in right now. I would have thought it was impossible back then that we'd ever see anything like this. And here we are. That kind of leads me into where we're going. Hey, James Ortiz, how are you doing? Um, Tonight, I have been asked to do some of the deeper woo. And the really deep stuff sounds impossible. Interestingly enough, it is not. There's a lot more possible than science is willing to admit, although it's coming very close with quantum science. Now, all the way back in college, how you doing, Michelle Canham Free? Hi. I want to make sure I say hi. Um, but if if you ever come in and I don't see you and I don't say hi, I just didn't see you, okay? So don't get mad. But just say something and I'll see you. Hopefully that'll all work out. So, really, way back when I was in college, I came across quantum theory. Might even have been before that. I think it might even have been before that, yeah. They had started to talk about that. Because I graduated back in the late 70s. So, yeah, out of high school. So, yeah, I'm not sure exactly when they first breathed about quantum, but I knew when I read about it, that was where we were going to go. And I said, and I had said for a long time, there will be a time when science and religion, which were once one at one time, will come back together. The spirituality and the science will start to merge again, but it'll be on a whole different level this time. And lo and behold, and I also said in the future, everything's going to go quantum. I mean, quantum's going to sort of break open the wall of, you know, keeping us from all of the extra possibilities, all of the impossible impossibilities that um, we've been held back from for a long time. Hey, Simon, how you doing, sweetie? So that was like 40 years ago or more, 40, 45 years ago. And I was very young then, you know, just coming out of high school with the attitude that, hey, quantum science, that's the next big thing. Yeah, that was in my first year. I was talking about that. Yeah, I remember because I was trying to talk to it was one of those unfortunate parties that we go through, one of those beer and barf type parties where there are a lot of people drinking beer, a lot of young people drinking beer, and then there's always somebody barfing out in the backyard somewhere, or, you know, in the bathroom, because they drank too much and they don't know their limit. So I used to call them beer and barf parties, and I didn't like them very much. Hi, Brandy Robinson. How you doing, sweetie? So, so yeah, I was talking about quantum all the way back then. Although I didn't entirely understand it, I had a feeling. I could kind of feel it. I could kind of say, oh, yeah, this is going to end up explaining a lot that we can't explain with normal science. And indeed, it does open up a whole world of possibilities that we didn't have before. So, before it was like impossible, impossible. You know, beer and barf. Yeah, the beer and barf parties. That's what I called them. Yeah, and sometimes there was, at some of the when some of the younger people who really don't know their limit, sometimes it was almost equal shares of both, and it's like, oh God, why am I here? So I remember trying to talk to somebody at a beer and bar party about quantum theory. I don't know why the heck I thought that was an idea, but they seemed fairly intelligent, and I just they asked me what they asked me a question, and I started responding with, well, quantum theory, yada yada, and they're like, oh, and they started getting into numbers and stuff. I said, I don't know anything about the numbers or anything. I just know something about the theory. And it seems like that's where we're headed. So, yeah, so it must have been really early on. It was in the late 70s then. So, since the late 70s, I've been yammering about it to people off and on who I thought I might be able to talk to about it, which is not that many, really. Uh, So Simon likes that phrase, beer and barf. Yeah, it's so accurate though, isn't it? Well, yeah, that was before we formulated a plot to find husbands. We decided we needed to find husbands. How were we going to do? Someday I'll tell you about that journey. I think we were partly successful. We did find marriageable people, but um, the marriages didn't last. But we did find marriageable people. So, because somehow at the beer and bar parties we weren't finding anybody that was anywhere near close to what we were looking for. So, mm, um, I love my little kitty cake, but you know what? His fur is everywhere. His hair is everywhere. So if you see me doing this, and you will from time to time, it's because his fluffy fur is getting up my nose and stuff and sticks to my skin sometimes. So, anyway, tonight we're going to do something that one of my teachers, her name was Jennifer, I believe it was Jennifer McLean, um, that did this one in a little bit different way. But basically, we're going to take a ride on a woo ship. Honestly, she never called it that. That's basically what it is, though. We're going to take a ride on a quantum woo ship. And yeah, I know how to do that, you know. Uh, so tonight, I think we're going to talk a little bit about it first to make sure everyone gets in and gets ready for it. Because once we get started, you know, we're going to keep going. We're not going to be able to, you know, we're going to have to go through with it. So I hope you're ready for that. Now, as you know, this energy, everything is energy, is what's going on with quantum. Everything's energy, and they call that the quantum field. Quantum field, right? Well, and this just opens the way. Many trailblazing people have found out that yes, there are indeed alternative versions of where we are right now. There are many versions of Earth, as it is, as it was, and as it shall be, my brother and sister. But yeah, um, there are many alternative, maybe infinite, we think probably infinite versions of this reality. And you are constantly moving between versions that are minorly different and um, don't even know it most of the time. Okay. So, what we're going to do this time is do it consciously. And we're going for better. Okay. Now, another term for this is quantum jumping. And the quantum jumping has a lot to do with you find your alternative self that has it going on like you want it to be, right? And you move your awareness to that version of you instead of the current in order to gain what the experience of that. So, and people who do this literally, you quite literally will be in a different vibration. We'd have to say vibration. If we say in a different place, people might misunderstand. But you can move to that vibration. You can actually shift yourself to that. So, and doing this en masse with other people, you can all shift to a better place if that's your intention. Um, and so Jennifer used to do this to take us on a little voyage where we would end up in a different version of our reality, a much more desirable one. And I haven't done that in a while, but I have done it. And I really think sometimes this is responsible for why this may also be responsible for why I have all of these so-called Mandela effects. Well, let's call them Mandela effects. Why not? Hey, Pam, I am. How you doing, sweetie? I really wonder sometimes, and I think probably it is true, that this might be what's causing the Mandela effect. It seems like the biggest ones take place around the hinges of the year. We're coming up on the vernal equinox, so it's easier. It seems like it's a lot easier to move at certain times of the year, to shift. So we're we're coming up on that. Although I got to tell you, Cowboy Cat has already told me, and he's right, sleeping behind me. He wants to be asleep. He doesn't want to be bothered right now. But um, so I'm supposed to leave him alone unless he wants to come out and say hi. But he's already said it's spring already. It's already spring. Yeah. He started shedding his fur like it was spring back in February, early in February. And basically, I could almost audibly hear it. I'm there like, why are you shedding like crazy? I mean, he always sheds all year, but he was shedding like crazy. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he was losing his undercoat so fast, you know. He is really a fur factory, let me tell you. And I almost audibly heard, it's spring, because it's spring. Well, you know, the rodent said, no, no, you've got winter coming. No, no, we don't, though. Not here in Ohio. Here in Ohio, it is now spring. We've got daffodils coming up. We've got crocuses coming up. It's spring. So it's changed a lot, but a lot of that change is, yes, we are the white hats manipulating the weather now. Okay, the white hats are in control of the weather around here locally. And I can, as you know, I can do things like send rain, and we can flatten tsunamis. We can do all kinds of things. We can decrease the damage from storms and do all kinds of things like that. That is not beyond us once we accept our divinity. Okay, but the thing is you've got to accept that you are divine, and that nature is a part of us, and we are a part of nature. We are not separate from nature. In order to do the things that we do as shaman, you kind of have to accept yourself as a part of the whole and your role in directing that. So, and of course, we never intend to do harm. I mean, I don't recommend you do that. It's not a good idea. I mean, there could be some rather severe repercussions from that. But I mean, sometimes even if you're trying to do something good and you're kind of hasty about it and don't think it through, you can sometimes do damage. So you got to watch it. So I recommend anytime you do this, let's see, we're usually past winter stuff now, but no. Huh. We do. You do down there, Pam. I am. I see. You got to learn to do the weather. You got to learn to work with the weather, Pam. Where are you? Remember, they were going to send us all along. They were going to turn us. They were going to talking about the long, cold winter, dark, cold winter. Well, some of us decided that we weren't going to have that. We weren't having it. You can choose to not have that. And lately, we haven't gotten a lot of pushback. Used to be I'd get some pushback and still do some places. It seems like some places there's still a lock on certain things, and um, you have to manipulate that in order to get the weather to change. But for lack of a better way to say it, but for the most part, up here in my territory, I don't have to do very much in order to get it to be the way I want it to be. Um, for the most part. Hello, Patricia V. How are you doing? So, but like I said, sometimes I let things go where they need to go because I always say if it's not going to if it's not going to upset the balance of things that have to happen, let's have it this way. I want to see it this way. I'd like to see this. That's the way I put it. I don't want people to get harmed by my desire to have it nice and warm. However, everybody's kind of got to take care of their own territory. Right now, I'm not sure I can really take care of your territory and my territory. I haven't tried it. Maybe I could try it, but honestly, that's some work. Okay. Right now, I'm happy to just have it be a little easier than in previous winters when we were having snow up to our nose. So everybody's kind of got to keep their. Oh yeah, that's right. You're near Spokane. Well, you just need to learn to work with weather. You need to learn elemental magic like the rest of us who do this stuff. You need to talk to your local cloud people. So, and get them to love you enough to want to give you whatever kind of weather you want. Now, occasionally we need some cold because there's some things that need the cold, need to freeze. So, you know, and so sometimes I just let that be. But I did a long time ago decide that if it wasn't going to put anything out of balance, like ecologically here, that I wanted us to have milder winters in general, milder, shorter winters, because we grow a lot of food here. And this is where a lot of farmland is. So we actually could use more a longer growing season here. I mean, that's just good for everybody, you know. So I'm looking for a very short winter here. Now, I'm sure there are plenty of places to go if you want a mountain of snow. But yeah, it's still snowed here a few times, and it still gets cold at night. And this is what's so funny about it is I ask for warmer days, but then it'll drop like it was 60 something today. It's going to drop to 30 something tonight. I'm not asking for warm nights because I'm not out at night. So the cold is happening at night. We're still having cold weather, but it's just happening at night. So I suppose if I would ask for warm nights, maybe I'd get that too. I don't know, but right now I don't really need it. So, mm, yeah, I get over winter really fast. It's good to see you here, Philip Fire. It's good to see all of you here. Hmm. So, yeah, I don't like cold. It hurts. And, I'm still getting over that. I'm still working on making it not a hurting thing. But until I do that, I'm still not going to really like it to be cold very much, but most of the time I'm in at night anyway, and, you know, snuggled up nice and warm, so I'm not too worried about it. And it's nice to be able to go out and get some sun without freezing your bum off. So it's real healthy. And if you want to be cold, you can still go out in the evening and get yourself nice and chilled. But see, that's what I mean is that would this have been possible in the world I started out in? I don't think so. When I got on my first woo ship, so to speak, and I've named it that, the woo ship. It's like a starship, but it's not a starship exactly. It's and they even find beef with calling it interdimensional. Okay. So they don't want us to call it interdimensional because now they've got that meaning. Some remember our language is babbled. Trying to talk about this stuff accurately can be very trying. So I am just coming up with a name, and it is what I say it is. It is a woo ship. The woo ship can go between versions of Earth. Okay? It is what I say it is. And as I speak it, so it is. And I have been using, and you strengthen it by using it that way. When you build something like that, you strengthen it by using it. This is what it is. I say, this is what it is. This is the way I use it. Therefore, this is what it is. So I have built a woo ship. There is also such a thing as a dream lodge, which the Indians talk about. And this is not really a physical one. This is one that we build in the dream time. Okay. So this is outside or separate from the sim. That's a little bit different. But yeah, that exists too, where shamans may meet. And a lot of us go to these places when we're asleep or in an in between time when we meditate. Sometimes we go to these places. So this is all possible. Why? Because I keep telling you, we're divine. You're divine. You can do this kind of thing because you're divine. I can do this. So yeah, you can think of it as a starship, or you can think of it as an interdimensional ship, but I'm going to call it a woo ship because we're going to surf the quantum realities with this. Okay. You can call it a quantum ship if you want, I suppose. That'd work. But I like woo ship. It's short. It's my own little way of calling it. So there you go. And so, yeah, a lot of us get out less than winter. So yeah, it's good to see all of you, dear. Yeah. Um now once again, this is really deep woo. Deep woo. This isn't, a beginner game here. This is now you leveled up if you're coming in here doing this. If you're coming to my show doing this is definitely the next level. This is not um this is not beginner stuff. So, but if you're a beginner and you want to try it, what the heck? Go right ahead. If you have no idea what I'm talking about when I'm saying any of this, you still want to try it, that's fine too. I don't care. You can give it a shot and maybe be very surprised by how it works for you. Some people have these things work automatic, just very easily and automatically for them. So I'm here mostly as a guide because really this is going to be powered by you. I mean, the changes that you make are going to be powered mostly by you. I'm just directing things here. So I'm just steering. Oh, okay, Philip. Ah, yes. Well, outside, I would probably, if I had a porch, I'd spend most of my time outside too. I would. I used to when I had a porch. I used to spend a lot of time on the front porch doing stuff, being outside, but up above it, sort of. Oh, you love the 10:10 start time? Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna do that, except this Sunday we're gonna have a special presentation at 8:08. So you guys, I do have to tell you, Paul Christian wants to come in, but 10:10 is too late for him. And so we're going to have a special presentation at 8:08 on Sunday. You won't want to miss it. Paul is going to be talking about what it's like when we die, what happens when we die. He's given this as a sermon at churches, in fact. And if you know anything about Paul and have seen him talk before, you know he's a very learned person in the ways of woo. So he is also into some pretty deep woo. And so it should be a very interesting thing. We're going to have about 25 minutes or so of him giving this talk. Then we're going to open it up for questions and discussion. So it should be a lot of fun. It should be really nice. So I hope you can come in early on Sunday and partake of that because Paul is worth a listen. But if you can't, you can always replay it. Oh, you went a long time without a porch. Oh gosh, they're nice, aren't they? Yes, 8:08. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to do it like that. We're going to do repeating numbers for our times. Why not? There's nobody standing over me saying you must have it at this exact time. It's like I'll have it when I want to have it. Yeah. Yeah, the repeating numbers, why not? I can't do it at 8:88 though. It doesn't work that way. But 8:08 will work. That'll be fine. Okay, so Sunday, 8:08, we're going to have Paul Christian's going to tell us all about experiences of what it's like to die. There you go. And that's going to be some more deep woo for you. So, but tonight, I'm giving people a chance to file in. I think we've got a big enough crew here now that we can start to get into the more meatier portion of this. So, oh, Mary Wynn's made it in. Yay, Mary made it in. Okay, great. Here, now tell you what I'm going to do to give people just a little bit more time to file in. I am going to play our lovely intro and be right back. Hey, okay, so we're back. See anybody else come in? Okay, so I'm glad Mary made it in. We're okay. So if everything is energy, and it's arguable, right? But we know science has been saying this, starting to say this, that everything's energy. Quantum science says everything's energy. Energy vibrates. We're just vibrating energy. That's all anything really is here. Vibrating energy. Ooh, that's all it is. So really, in order to change things, you change the vibe, you change it. You change the thing. You change everything through that vibe. And a lot of this can be accessed both through our imagination and our emotions. And it's funny because people in our culture, well, not just our culture, a lot of people are afraid of their emotions. It's one of the scariest things. They're afraid of feeling. They're afraid of feeling the wrong way. Oh, you have hummingbirds in fair weather? Yeah, we have them sometimes. Hmm. Yeah, so all we really have to do is change the vibration. In order to do that, we use our imagination, which is hooked to the quantum field, and our subconscious, of course, is where we store all this. This is why we're constantly cleaning our subconscious, is so that we can input what we do want in there, right? So that we can better effect what we're creating, our creation, in a much cleaner and better product, right? For our use here. That's why we are constantly cleaning what's in our subconscious, clearing it and getting rid of old junk, basically. Now, the sun throws energy at us all the time, but it's been throwing a lot of energy at us recently. Very active sunspots, very active solar flares, EMPs, and all that going on, and the great central sun is also throwing a lot at us. Now, if you think of the sun as being sort of not just this very hot burning thing in the sky, but also a portal of its own. And it is connected to the great central sun. The great central sun is beaming out codes. Our sun is beaming it out at us. We have the solar wind blowing solar dust on us all the time that literally gives instructions. And I mean, the energy is coming from there. It's what gives everything instructions, what we're going to do next. I mean, apparently, I didn't understand this for a long time, but that's why every solar system is just a little different. Your sun has, oh wow. Yeah, I'm just kind of getting this in a different way than I ever thought of it before. But the kind of sun you have is how this information, the central sun, is putting out, gets disseminated, and how it sort of gets, how can I say, going through whatever sun is going to give you a little bit different. It's almost like going through a filter. So going through solar sun is gonna give you a little bit different vibe than going through another star. Interesting. Interesting. That's why things from our solar system are going to be, or our neck of the woods are going to be similar and have a lot of similarity. It's interesting. So, right, chat goes really fast sometimes. Well, you got to learn how to mitigate the weather yourself. Like I said, I'm trying to get everybody to that point. Where are all the colors in chat? I have no idea. I can't see any of them. You're all black and white to me. So, see, it was 60, I forget. I think it got to be like 63 or 65 here Fahrenheit. So it was nice and warm for a February day. It was a very nice warm winter day, and we've been having those at least once a week, which is what I asked for. I'm asking for more of those. I'm saying instead of just one, can we have a couple of them a week? Guys, can you manage that? I'm asking my elemental friends, my cloud beings. Hey, do you think we can manage a couple a week? No, maybe up in the 50s, 60s area. So I think they're going to try and swing it for me. I don't approach it as commanding. I approach it more as loving my family, asking my loving family, some of whom are elementals, to please help me out with this. And because they love me back, they help me. I really suggest you do it that way, because the love exchange will make everything. How do I put it? That way, everything they do, instead of just doing the letter of what you said, they'll be looking to do something that pleases you, something that you desire, something that pleases you, rather than just follow a letter of what you said. And remember, we don't have exact speech around here anymore. We don't. We're babbled. So really, the intention is more important. But sometimes the way you say things, what you say is a vibration, and the vibration does get transferred. So if you have this lovely, loving relationship with your elementals and your angels and your spirit helpers and nature in general and the whole quantum field, you will have a lot nicer results. And I'm finding that the more I do this, the less common stuff, and I'm getting tested all the time. I think by it is I'm relaxing a lot more into everything's going to be all right. There is something to rain dancing. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Whether willing to work for the greater good. Absolutely. Absolutely. um, being able to work in that frame of mind that we're doing this for the good. Like, for instance, it's like um, it's nice to have a longer growing season. It's nice to have it safer for people to walk around outside because when it's icy, a lot of people have trouble getting around in that. Um, Icy temperatures are very hard on some of the wildlife and even us. So, especially when we're having times when a lot of people are having trouble hitting their homes, for instance. So, okay, so the artificial is trying to come in and freeze us, but our friends, our loving family is trying to come in and keep us from freezing. You know, that's the way it is. They love us. When nature loves you, it's going to try and help you. When your little nature spirits just love you, they don't want to hurt you. It's pretty simple. So having a good relationship is, I suggest it. Okay, I just suggest it. You don't have to do it that way. I really suggest you do, though. Hail bot. Hail bot? Hmm. Okay. I don't know anything about a hail bot. Hail bot. Okay, somebody explain what a hail bot is. However, I do have to say that, yeah, we do get hail from here once in a while around here. Um, hmm. Anyway, so first of all, if you decide to go do this on your own with any of this kind of magic, if you're going to be shamanic or if you're going to try to work with nature, if you're going to try to work with the elements, please try to be on a nice level with it. Please use love. It's just going to go easier. You're just going to have a better experience if you do. Just saying. Now, of course, it's a free universe. It's just Hellbot. I don't know anything about that. Mary, you're going to have to tell us about that. So, when you're outside, the exercises that I do here, it's a good thing to do them out in nature. So if you're sitting out where the air can hit you and the sun can hit you, and out where you're in actually touching nature, nature is touching you, and you do these exercises that I give you, it's going to be even more effective and more powerful. Need spiral pattern hail. That's interesting. Oh, that's weird. Okay, that's really weird. Yes. A computer with tentacles. That's very weird. Ale? That's very creepy. Okay, so this is why I take you through these exercises where we're practicing putting our roots down, practicing unfolding ourselves and expanding ourselves. This is why I have you, why I did the meditation, the tree meditation, because that's a really good analogy for how the energy works. or visualization for how the energy works. You need both forms of energy, the upward and the downward pull. And actually, there's a sideways axis too. Um, we're not going to get into talking about that right now. Yeah, that sounds very, 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 very creepy. You mean like the clots that they're finding in people who took the jacks? Because that's what they're finding in people that took the jacks is something the coroners are saying they're finding blood clots that basically are the texture of worms. They're not blood. They're not made of blood. The blockages are made of something that's kind of worm-like, and some of them look like they have tentacles. Really freaky looking stuff. I do have a clip of that saved somewhere. I don't know. Maybe when we go into that some point, I'll talk about that. Um, but they are gross. As of right now, you can still find that. They haven't linked it to the jacks yet, but they've only started finding it on a regular basis. Before, you'd find it maybe 1% of the population. Now they found it. Now they find it all the time. A large amount of people who die of a blood clot have these weird, very weird, wormy clots. So, you know, uh, just kind of since the Jax has been rolled out, what can you say? And now we have airplanes falling from the sky because the pilots are having heart attacks, strokes while they're flying the plane. We're having all kinds of weird stuff happen because people who had to take it to keep their jobs are having strokes and stuff, athletes dropping, all of that stuff. But no, it can't possibly be because of the jacks, can it? No, that's ridiculous. That's conspiracy theory stuff. I'm sorry. I think we know, though, right? Yeah, the jacks. Oh, oh, your image twin cats, the jacks. Okay, maybe we can call it the schmacks. The schmacks. Yeah, clumpy, stringy. Look like they got tentacles. A lot of them look like a lot of worms sort of fused together. Yeah, those things. Those are not normal, not at all, not even a little bit. And you know, so what I'm proposing is on this little woo ship tour. It's not a 3 hour tour. 3 hour tour. No, it's nothing like that at all. We're going to go to a nicer version. I'm now it's always a good idea when you do this, when you do a leap, that you leap to somewhere when you do a jump, a leap, a jump. It's sometimes called a quantum jump, but this is a one that we're all going to do together. So when we do a quantum jump, we're going to a different version of this planet. And it's in effect it's going to be a different world. It's going to be a different planet. But it's still going to be Earth. It's going to be a lot like here. You're going to find it's a lot like here. There's but there's going to be some little things that are going to be different. And we're going to make it different in a good way. Okay? So, yeah, now you want snacks. Ah! Ah! so funny, dog face. What? Okay. Yeah, they only found it in maybe 1% of the whole population, world population, and then all of a sudden after the schmacks they are finding it in all these people that dropped dead from a stroke, from supposedly clots. So they're not really clots. Something else. Yeah. Let's see if we can get out of that. That'd be one of the things. Of course, that is waking people up to the fact of what's been going on. So many things that are happening in our world that look very negative. Even the thing in East Palestine. Keep wanting to say Salem. Salem is where they first saw the sparks under the cars. So they knew right there that those sparks should have been cause enough for them to stop the train. But that didn't happen. So there's a lot of questions that raises. There's also the fact that they did some predictive programming by actually literally putting it right in our face. And I figured something out about this. This was strange. A while back, David was getting me to, there was something about white noise. He wanted me, and so I looked up there. I guess there are different colors of noise. There's white noise, brown noise, red noise, blue noise, and they are all named this. So he wanted me to look up, and looking up white noise let me find all these other things. And this is all sort of like a staticky background noise, but they're all slightly different. But he wanted me to look up white noise. I had no idea why. It turns out white noise, and I didn't see it, it didn't pop up. White Noise is a film about exactly what happened in East Palestine. And it was filmed in East Palestine. And some of the people that live in East Palestine acted in that movie. And it was called White Noise. And I just realized what was bothering me about that name, White Noise. That was probably back around the time when David was drawing my attention to white noise. And now that it's come up again, he's like drawing my attention back to that. Remember when you had that dream about white noise? Because David Bowie actually did an album called White Noise, Black Tie, White Noise, or something like that. So, yeah. So that's not just weirdness. That is, okay, Marilyn is here. I think we're all here now, finally. Good. We can move on. I think everybody who's supposed to be here is now here. So let us begin. I'm going to take you first on a few little exercises to expand yourself. So get your spine straightened out as straight as possible, but be comfortable. You're going to want to be comfortable for this. Okay. And you know how to do this. Strangely enough, you'll find you do know how to do this when I say, just take all of your chakras and push them back to your spine and align them on your spine, and then sort of snap them to grid so that they align sideways as well. Now you have aligned chakras. This is going to help you. And you don't have to think about doing it. You just do it. You just kind of see it happening in your head. And it just happens. So it's not hard to do at all. Hey, Marilena. So we're getting ready to board the Woo ship, Marilena. You came just in time. Getting ready to board the Woo ship for a new place. We're going to have an alternative. We're going to land in an alternative version of this place. Okay, and a better one. We're aiming for a better one. So I'm going to warn you in advance that this is real. You're not just imagining this. This is going to be different. You're going to literally be in a different place when you debark, when you come off the ship. You're not going to be in quite the same reality we're in. Although there are things that are going to try and convince you are, because your mind will keep doing that, keep trying to flip you back to the old one. If you want to hold on to the new one, hold on to the new things that you see. You might even want to leave yourself some kind of a sign that you're at the new place. Say, yeah, I know I'm not at the old place because this is missing, or I'm not at the old place because I see something general, like a sign in my favorite colors or something. Sometimes I do that. Yeah, get comfy. Get nice and comfy and safe. And just move those chakras back to your spine, snap them all straight. And then I want you to just kind of feel the edges of yourself and expand. And let your real self, not your body. Remember, your body is just your little avatar that you use to interface this thing that we're calling either the sim or life on planet Earth or the game or the movie or whatever you want to call this version of reality. We're about to shift vibrations, and so we're about to sort of change the channel. I guess you could kind of look at it that way. So we're going to dial the channel up a little bit higher to a little bit different version. Yes, it turned 11:11. Yeah. So we're there now. We're at a good time to start this. Marilena got in just in time. So expand yourself and expand yourself and expand yourself out. Expand yourself out far beyond Earth, far beyond our solar system, and far out into the galaxy. And if you can imagine it, beyond our galaxy. Expand yourself out into the universe as expansive as you want to get. And when you get tired of doing that, you can just, yeah, do that. This is just as much as you want. And then when you want to stop, just go ahead and lose your awareness of doing that and just let it be there. And make sure that you unfold yourself all the way. And I just want you to really know, I would love you to realize that you are a vast energy being, not a tiny little avatar. Okay. So the avatar, gotta warn you, the avatar might be a little different too when you come off the Woo ship. So when you get on the Woo ship, you're here. When you get, you coming from here, you're going to end up, it's literally going to be somewhere else. Okay. Even though there's going to be things to try to convince you otherwise. Okay. The old reality is going to try and suck you back. Your mind will try and make some kind of a segue between a logical segue. It's okay. Just accept that you're in a new place and it will be okay. Yeah. So now you're nice and expansive. Good. So now in your nice expanded state, now we're going to try and do some, I keep changing up the way that we do this so that I'm trying to find the exact best way to do this, order to do this. So I'm kind of changing the order every time to see which one seems to work the best with this group. So let's do our ohms. We're going to do 3 to get ourselves in a nice vibration. Okay. Are you ready? Take a nice deep breath and try to use all the sounds in Om. Okay. Because it vibrates the bones differently. So we're going to vibrate ourselves with Om. I'll let yourself feel that. Yeah. And that should feel a lot better now. If you were able to follow along with that, and if not, remember you can always replay this. That's the lovely thing about having it recorded. You can always replay this at a time when you can do this better. Okay. Now we've done our arms. Kind of giving ourselves a mini massage, right? So that's kind of what it's like. Okay, so next thing we're going to do breathing. Then we're going to get on the ship. Okay, you ready? We're going to do the 10 times. We're going to do in 4. You're going to breathe in for a count of 4 and out for a count of 6. We're going to do this 10 times. I'll count. Don't worry. Just follow along. It's going to be very easy for you. Okay, it won't take very long to do this at all. Now, okay, in breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, out. In. 1, 2, 3, 4, out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In. 1, 2, 3, 4, out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In. 1, 2, 3, out, out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. In. 1, 2, 3, 4, out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In. 1, 2, 3, 4, out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In. 1, 2, 3, 4, out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In. 1, 2, 3, 4, out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There. Okay. Now, you're nice and oxygenated, hopefully. That will also help your body relax into this. So your body is not fighting you. You don't want your little Abby fighting you through this process. You want it to be nice and relaxed and happy. So just breathe. If you have to yawn or something, go ahead and do that. Okay, so you don't have to be still, 100% still during this process. Just follow the thread, follow my voice, follow the thread of what we're doing. Just follow along in your mind. As long as you can keep the visualization, I want you to imagine that you are in a very, very tranquil, peaceful place. Make it one of your favorite places. And it can be a place even if it only exists in your mind. Even the places that you create are still places. The woo ship doesn't mind. It can land anywhere. All right. And this happens for each of you. We're going to come and pick you all up as you are there in your favorite comfy place. You see a beautiful light ship slowly coming in from above and in front of you, and slowly floating down and coming to land near you. It has a beautiful glow. It glows your favorite colors. It seems very friendly. It radiates affection, love. And there's nothing frightening about this ship at all. It's absolutely a friendly, you can tell that. And door opens and you see a light being looking a lot like me. However, that light being looks in your mind, that is me, saying, "Hey, we came for you. It's time to come aboard. We're going to the new place. It should be really fun. It should be a really beautiful place. We're heading for another version of Earth." And you come aboard, and it's just as beautiful on the inside as it is on the outside. Just as beautiful as you imagine it to be. Remember, your imagination, your vibration is shaping this whole experience. So imagine well and imagine big. Okay? Now, as you find your way on and you see your friends are here too, it's funny how you all just seem to appear here. Here you are. And it came for each of you, each where you were. But now you're here. Everything's comfortable. Everything is peaceful and happy. And you feel the comradeship and love of your friends here with you. And I stand at the helm, which really just looks like a panel of light of different colors. And I say, okay, so now we're going to go somewhere where things are a bit better, a bit more refined, a bit happier. They make a little bit more sense. It's a little bit farther away from Clown World, okay? Because I know that some of you have been feeling you've been living in Clown World. Well, we're going to start leaving Clown World, but we're going to have to do it in increments, because if I go too fast and we do this too much change at once, it's probably going to be shocking for you. So we're going to do this from time to time in increments so that you can get used to the new place. Just relax and follow along, and we'll all go to a much nicer version. We are now getting ready to quantum jump. And I look at the controls and I find a place. I punch in the yes, we're looking for input. Yes, we're looking for a place of a higher vibration. We're looking for a place where the people are nicer, that makes more sense, where the weather is milder, where a lot of the things that are troubling us are less, that have troubled us in the old place. We're looking for a place like that. And something comes up that says, it looks like you're looking for this version. Okay. So we're going to try this version. Now remember, if we decide that we don't want to stay, we can get up and leave that version too. So don't worry about it. There's absolutely nothing to concern yourself with. It can only get better. It can only get better because we're programming that in now. We're putting that in there. It's going to be better than the old place. It's going to be much nicer than the old place. There's going to be some things about it that we're going to like very much compared to the old place. Okay? So, now it's kind of exciting because we're not sure exactly what that means, but we know that the quantum field knows exactly what would make us happier and what we would find more appealing and more desirable. So we don't have to be too exact about it, except that we want it to be a nicer, higher vibration, more comfortable and appealing and desirable place. Okay. So here we go. And the whole chamber fills with beautiful light. And as you feel this permeating every part of you, it's very comfortable. And all of a sudden you realize now it's dimming down a little bit. You're starting to be able to see the interior again. You're starting to be able to see your friends' light bodies around you. You're starting to be able to see me again and the panel again. And I say, okay, we've made it. We're now in a new place. And as we are now in a new place, it's time to debark. I want you to get settled just a moment before we go out into the new place. Okay, I want to make sure all of you makes it here energetically. So we're going to give some of you a chance to catch up. I feel like some of you are trying to get the rest of you to come along. Okay. Now, a door opens, and guess what? You're back in your beautiful place that you were in, but it's a little different. The colors are a little brighter and a little clearer. The air is a little softer. The sun is warm and very much inviting. The grass feels softer against your feet and more welcoming. And everything in your special place feels welcoming to you. And from here, you will wake up in your new place, in your new, expanded, upgraded, higher vibrational reality. And when you do come back into your Abbey will have traveled there too. Actually, you'll be in a little bit different Abbey, to tell you the truth. It'll still be your Abbey, but it will be a slightly different version of your Abbey. It will be the quantum jumped version of your Abbey. So it's an upgrade. So you just got an upgrade. Now, gently, when you're ready, open your eyes, come into your Abbey, and engage with it. Open your eyes. Realize you're in a slightly different place, in a slightly different Abbey, where things are now slightly different and upgraded. Okay. Now, from here on, your job is going to be to look around and find the upgrades. It's up to you to look for and find the upgrades. Remember, your mind is going to try to pull you back to the old place and convince you you're exactly where you were, but in fact, you are not. You are now in a new place. So look for the upgrades and accept them, and they are yours. It's that simple. Remember, you're divine, and as you say it, so it is. As you speak it, so it is. As you speak it, so it is. As I speak it, so it is. Okay. Now, for those of you who did not fall asleep during this, you can come back and chat. For those of you who did fall asleep to this, that's okay too. I'll make sure that I don't say anything that's going to give you anything but nice dreams. Okay? But you're going to find that you're in a much better place. You really are. Feel the energy. It's different. I can feel it. And if you really feel for it, you'll see it's different. Okay? The energy is different. It was pretty simple, wasn't it? Yeah. Your cat was watching the whole thing, probably going, "Oh, mom's going traveling. I guess maybe I'll go too." Either that, or maybe the cat's seeing the whole thing. You know, cats see things differently, so they might have been watching the whole thing. uh, yeah. Yeah, my kitty always knows too when I'm going. So that's why he decided he's just going to sleep back there. He came along. Yeah, he's just gonna. He knows he come right along with me. I've got to watch it every time I do this. I put people, hey, if you can't sleep, come to one of my meditations. I'm told I have such a relaxing voice. A lot of people just not go. Uh, so, Philifire, it might just be you and me talking for a few minutes here. The rest of them might be in dreamland or something. Okay. So, just believe it or not, you are in a different place. You really are. Oh, mine is too. They all do. They all think so. All the male cats think that they're the alpha, but if you've got a female cat, I gotta tell you. Yeah, a lot of times the females get stuff done, don't they? But yeah, the males are usually really big baby cats and just looking for love, mostly. They're just mostly looking for love and food and pets and um, the females usually are hunters or bigger time hunters than the males. Although the males love to hunt too. Usually the females are a little different. They're- The cats know. The cats know who's a male and a female cat. They know how. They know who they are, right? So nobody has to define it for them. So, oh, you slipped and giggled during the. That's okay. I giggle a lot of times. You don't know how hard it is for me not to giggle during some of these because it feels good. So, um, giggling is not bad. I don't count that as being a bad thing. I think it's a good thing because quite often after these, I just feel like giggling. Everything's kind of funny. I mean, earlier I found out that somebody charged me for something I didn't get and overdrafted me. And I'm just sitting there like, oh, well. And, it used to really grind my gears when that kind of thing had happened and I'd concern myself about it. I'd be all concerned. But I was very proud of myself when I found out for just a minute. I'm like, hey, that ain't right. And I was just momentarily upset about it. And then I just kind of eased back and said, oh, but it's going to be okay. It's not that big of a deal. I'll get this all straightened out. It'll all straighten it. I'll make a couple calls and it'll all be straightened out and it'll be just fine. So I'm not as reactive as I used to be. And you'll find that if you keep doing these things, if you keep coming here and doing these meditations, doing these exercises, you'll find that you're less reactive to things. Yeah. Laughter is a good thing. And you'll find that stuff that used to drive you up a wall and make you crazy might actually make you giggle now. So, it's like I dropped something on the floor and it's just like splat. And now instead of going, oh no, I dropped something on the floor and berating myself, I could just kind of, oh, I dropped some on the floor. Isn't that silly? Okay. It's just not a big deal anymore. And I think that's one of the most important things is to realize it doesn't have to be a big deal. We make a big deal out of things that don't have to be a big deal at all. Why do we do that? Something in our iceberg. But we don't need to hold on to that. We can let go of that and just say, oh, well, that was silly. Okay, we'll just take care of that. It's no big deal. And go on with it. Yeah, laugh about it. And then it doesn't hurt so much. Make a song about it and clean up. Right. Exactly. Yeah, it's not that bad. Really, a lot of stuff that we make a lot out of is nothing. It's really nothing. there are ways of handling all this stuff, that happens, even if we can't see it immediately. I mean, actually, here's one of the changes that happened is my bank used to take $35 out. Now it's only taking 25 for or 20 for an overdraft. So it isn't even taking as much overdraft out. I know I'm going to get that back because this wasn't my fault. So, and they're pretty good about shifting things for me. So I know it's all going to be resolved. So it's like a little spill on the floor. I'll clean it up. It'll be all fine. What am I getting bent out of shape for? Nothing. I'm fine. I'm going to be fine. Yeah, roll with it. Exactly. Roll with it, baby. Yeah, you gotta roll with it, baby. Right? So, yeah, that's the way you gotta take it. Now, really, there are some days that I have to work a little harder at this than others. There are some days that just are kind of a grind. However, I find that I have less days like that now since I have been doing this. And once again, when I say and when I affirm, the more I affirm that I am divine, I am God, and so are you. We are God, collectively and individually. We are God. The more I realize that God is not outside of me, because we're taught to think of God as being outside of us. God is not outside of you. God is not outside you. It's not something outside you. The power is not something outside you. God is you. Be still and know that I am God. So all you have to do is be still and think, I am God. That's literally the instructions as it is said. And I am God. Okay, know that I am God. Namaste, exactly. Steve Winwood, yes. Yeah. So, oh, there's a new song. You know what? Ghost. Like I said, Ghost. Tom McDonald. Great song. It's really getting a lot of play and it's leading us back to love because it's kind of showing the world that you can be number one and write a song that is not about crap. It's actually heartfelt and about love, and you can still be number one, and you don't have to sign with anybody to do that. And it is a big breakthrough. So another one that I heard that I think is going to be um, a kind of an important song, although I haven't heard the whole song yet. I heard one that was beautiful. It's called Golden. I think it's called Golden Hour. It's by a guy with initials for a name, JV something. Um, but JVK something, maybe. But oh yeah, Tom and the Hangover Gang. Yeah, Hangover Gang crew. Yeah. Um, he's a good guy. I am glad he broke through. I'm glad he broke through that barrier. We needed a champion. There were people that actually died for that, trying to do that. And I know some personally. So, yeah, some of them are in spirit. They personally were trying to do that. And Prince was one of them. Um, and Michael Jackson was another one. So he did it. He did it. We did it. We did it. We did it. And that's a big deal. So this This golden hour. I don't know much about the guy yet, but the song is truly beautiful, and I think it's going to lead us back to love, to actually displaying love and respect, which for a while we kind of had toddled off on in some very weird pathways. I mean, we've at the same time we've got this weird dichotomy where you've got what's his name, Sam Smith or something. Sam, what is his name? The guy that did the demonic halftime show or something, or show at the Grammys, or I don't remember where it was. I didn't even watch it. I don't watch that stuff. Yeah. Song title's Golden Hour. It's beautiful. It's like it starts out very soft and kind of flowery and kind of fluttery piano playing, and then it goes, and then it gets all of a sudden it just expands. You know, I don't need the light to see you shine. It's your golden hour. It's this soaring melody. So I don't want to wake up a person upstairs right now, so I'm not going to be loud about it. But yeah, it's just a beautiful, sentimental love song. And I think we're going to see more of those, more honest, where Tom's is just upbeat and happy, this kind of upbeat and happy. This one is just kind of grand and love struck, but it's a beautiful song. Yeah, I recommend you give it a listen. Um, I think it's going to be a big one. Yeah. JVKE, that's it. Yeah, JVKE. Looks kind of like Juke. Maybe that's how I'll remember it, Juke, but it's with a V. So yeah, it's a beautiful song. The video that I saw at first was he's playing it for his music teacher, and at first it's kind of fluttering. She's listening, and then when it builds up, and it's like to the crescendo, and she's like crying. So beautiful, yeah, very beautiful. Hey, Michelle Cannon Free is back with us. She made it back in. Hey. Okay, hey, yeah, go ahead. No, we're done. We're just discussing now. I've got a little bit of time before 12. We got about 20 minutes or so. Maybe, Um, but yeah, we've been on over a little over an hour and a half, so I'm I'm here up to 2 hours, and then I want to take off after about 2 hours. We're near 2 hours. Um, I want to keep it to 2 hours because I find I have other things I want to do too, and it keeps it from getting kind of draggy. I uh, don't want to just look for filler for, another hour or something. Um, so basically, I'm going to keep it to 2 hours or near that each of these times. Oh, okay. Just not commenting. Okay. Because sometimes I put people asleep with these. People just fall asleep. They get real relaxed and fall asleep, and then they wake up the next day. Go, I remember all up to this point. Gemini does that when she tunes in. She'll be like, I remember up to this point, and then it was the next morning. It's like okay, and then she replays it to find out what she fell asleep to. Uh, okay, Hawkeye, Hawkeye. Ooh, somebody named Hawkeye about back surgery tomorrow morning. Prayers up for his surgeon for his surgery. Yes. Okay, let's send some healing. Whoever Hawkeye is. That whole situation, take it up to the next level, take it up to the next level, and have it turn out beautifully. Everything goes perfectly. The surgeon handles it masterfully, and Hawkeye makes it out of surgery in great shape. How's that? Yes. Hawkeye. Oh, oh, I know who you're talking about now. You're talking about isn't he a David? Is Hawkeye the David? I don't see his channel come up anymore. He's still broadcasting? Oh, see, I'm shadow banned from his channel. Nobody knows why, but I can't chat on his channel, and half the time, most of the time, I can't even find it. I can't find his channel. That's why I'm not there. Otherwise, I'd come visit. But yeah, he, I got somehow I got ghosted from there, and I know it's probably not his fault. So I'm thinking Tube did something or something happened. Oh, yeah, David, no. hmm I didn't know he was going in. hmm Oh, he'd be live right now. Maybe that's where some people take off to. I don't know. Sometime. I didn't know. So he's like, when does he come on? Does he come on at 11 or 11:30 or something? I could see if I could find him again, but I may not be able to say anything even if I find him. Because every time I would go there, nobody would hear me. Nobody would see my chat. So, and nobody seemed to know why. So, and that's happened to me on a couple of shows. And then sometimes I'll go in and nobody sees my chat. Or sometimes I'll go in and I say hi and nobody says hi to me. And I know if somebody doesn't say hi back to me after a little while, something's wrong. Then I have to leave and come back. And then all of a sudden there's all these people who said hi to me. So I know that they're playing games here, right? There's some kind of games being played. Maybe that'll be different in this version of reality. We're in a different version. Oh, he's blocked right now. Oh, oh dear. Yeah, I'm glad I haven't gone through that. Did they ever give a good reason why he's blocked? Probably not. Probably nothing that makes any sense. Oh, you're certainly welcome. After all, you would do the same for me. I know you would. That's the thing. Anytime you're going into a hospital these days, it's a lot more dangerous even than it used to be. So, nope. You know what? Maybe in this version it won't be. Maybe we're in a version where it won't be as dangerous to go to the hospital as in the last one. Let's hope. let's look for that. Maybe it'll be okay to go to the hospital in this version. That would be nice. Somehow people have upgraded to here. Maybe that system is upgraded here. We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. Well, we'll see what he says, see what goes on, see what the upgrades are. Like I said, look for the upgrades, see what you can find. And I have done this by myself, and actually one of the upgrades was, I believe one of the upgrades was Tom winning, Tom winning his number one spot. So I believe that probably was one of the grades, one of the updates. So, for those of you who have fallen asleep, remember that you are divine. God is not outside of you. God is within you. And truth is where you find it. I hope you always find some truth on my show. Next time, remember, we will be early at 8:08 with Paul Christian talking about what it's like to die. Okay, what death is like, death and dying. It's going to be interesting. And then we're going to have a discussion, and there won't be scary stuff. Don't worry, it's not going to be scary. And because it's not. It's not scary, really. Dying is very easy, although sometimes getting there is not so great, but dying itself is not bad. And death is certainly not that bad, really. It's not bad at all. Most people are just surprised at how easy and nice it was. So we'll talk about that on Sunday at 8:08. And then Monday we'll be back to our regular time at 10:10. And but I have been thinking, since it's spring, I would kind of like to have some daytime shows. I'm not really sure when exactly in the day to have them, but I'm thinking maybe at sunset. It's really nice here at sunset as it gets warmer. I'll be trying to do some outside type stuff. We'll be either on the patio or out somewhere nice, somewhere where the air is clear and the nature can touch us. Thank you. I hope so. uh, okay, well, actually, it's good to eat something after these because it grounds you, because you want to be all the way back in your body. You want to be back in your, you want to be engaged with your AVI so your AVI doesn't get damaged. Because if you don't fully engage with your AVI, things can happen. So you want, oh, and love to cowboy, yeah, and love to your babies too. Yes, your fur babies, hugs and love and treats and purrs and wags and belly scratches, belly rubs, head scratches. And like they say, some angels don't have wings, they have whiskers, right? Okay. Let's see, what do I always say at the end of these? Tell people you love them. Let people know that you love them. It really doesn't cost anything to just say, love you. Um, but it goes a long way because people need that. And yeah, like I said, just remember you're divine. That's the biggest thing. Remember you're divine. Okay. You were pretty light for that trip. Oh, lovely. Yeah, and then please come back and tell me what happens, what you found. It's different. I do find, and sometimes it's subtle, but it is different. I believe one of those times is why the cats don't have the nictating membranes anymore. I think I ended up crossing over to a place where cats don't have them. Probably my travels. So, okay. Have a lovely evening, and I'll see you at other chats probably. Night, night.